Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to my release party. I know it's late, so for those of you that are tuning in, I greatly appreciate you joining me. And for those of you that are watching on the replay, thank you for watching. I appreciate you as well. This is just something fun I thought I would do, and I originally planned the stream for this late because I knew I was going to be working, and then I ended up getting sick, and so I didn't feel like doing it anyway. So, but I'm better tonight. I find that I tend to rally toward the end of the day, so I'm very happy to be feeling like doing this. So, Rebecca's here. Hi, good to see you. So glad you can make it. And looks like Britton's here to join me. Hey there, how you doing, man?
Well, I saw your random invite, and I'm like, well, I got nothing better to do today or this evening. Well, actually,
Yeah.
that might sound backhanded. I'm not trying to insult you.
Oh no, not at all. I didn't I didn't take it that way at all. It's all good. I'm glad to
Well, when
see
you started
you.
laughing, I'm like, oh shit, that might come off as an insult. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, you're in good company. That's totally something I would say in fun and jest. Um, yeah, no, it's good.
Congrats on your
Yeah,
new book, by the way.
what's that?
I said, congrats on your new book, by the way.
Thank you very much. And yeah, speaking of, here is the new book. I've actually got a stack of them over to the side of me here that I've been working on personalizing. So sending those out to all my beta readers that I promised my beta readers a copy of the book. So yeah. So I've been working on those, and yeah, very exciting. It is finally out. Hey Chad, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Chad is another self-published author, and an absolutely brilliant one, I might add. If you guys have not read Chad's books, you better get on the ball, because he's got 3 out now and more on the way. So I'm uh, super happy
So
with him.
so
He's
no
great.
George R. Martin business. He won't get stuck at like book 5.
I don't think so. He's not showing any signs of it. Yeah, he's he's written some psychological horror and slasher novel and a bunch of different horror books there. So I'm just really happy to be a supporter of his. He's got some really great stories. Um, thanks, Andrew. How you doing? Good to see you. uh, so how are things in the fine state of Oklahoma tonight, Britton? How are your teams doing?
Not great.
Not
We
great.
don't really have an offense at
Oh no.
Oklahoma Sooners. But aside from
Yeah.
that, I'm doing okay. It's not too bad. It's getting a little chilly over here, actually.
Yeah.
The chili is finally coming to town. It's been freaking scorching hot for the past like 5 or 6 months.
Yeah. So tell me, what is scorching hot where you're at, though?
What do you mean?
Uh, well, like, what's the temperature when you say scorching hot?
Oh, let me think. In the hundreds, like sometimes it'll go
Okay.
to like 105 or something, or
Okay. Yeah.
90s,
Yeah. It's
like
it's about
high
comparable to
90s.
us, and you got humidity too, which doesn't help. So
Oh yeah, that's a big suck.
yeah,
I
definitely a
did just
big.
get back from Florida. I was in Florida for the weekend,
Yeah,
so that was fun.
that's cool. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed Florida. I went there once and vowed to never go there again because the humidity was just off the charts. And I mean, it's probably fine during the winter time, but
It's actually really cool out because I'm guessing it's because the hurricanes just happened. So
oh, true. Yeah, that's right.
mhm.
Oh, Chad sounds right up my alley. Yeah, I definitely think you would like Chad, Andrew. He's got some great books. Yeah, I bought all of his books in hardback because he's that good. He's what I call shelf worthy.
So you
uh,
won't DNF Chad Nicholas?
no, I won't DNF Chad Nicholas. I would be very surprised if he did. hope to not get stuck on book 5. Okay, well, fair enough.
I
Hey,
meant book 6 because technically
yeah,
it's book 6, but
that's
I
right. We're waiting on book 6 from George. Yeah. 2:30 here, so not sure in how long I can hang as I have to get ready for work in a few hours. No worries, Jenny. I totally understand. I'm just honored that you stayed up as late as you did for me. So that's awesome. And thank you. Launch party, yes. In fact, I prepared well for this. I have a bottle of Martini and Rossi here, and I've got my handy little Game of Thrones commemorative glass here. So I will be toasting at some point in the night. We'll be dipping into a little bit of the bubbly. Um, so yeah, celebrating all around.
I'm not much of a drinker aside from the occasional whiskey and
That's no
and
problem. Yeah.
alcoholic lemonade because I really like Hard Mike's lemonade. That
Oh
Hard
yeah, I've
Mike's,
had that. That's really good.
yeah, it's actually quite good.
I'm a fan of hard cider myself.
Mm.
Although I like beer and stuff too, but yeah, hard cider is when it comes to lemons versus apples, I usually tend to go with the hard apple cider, but yeah, they're both good though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I had sent out an invite in the Discord if any of you are in there and you want to pop in. No pressure, no requirement, but you are more than welcome to it. I didn't put it out on YouTube publicly because you never know what might happen there.
Oh, damn it.
But Discord is definitely open if you want to pop in. We'll see how many people we can get on the stream. I think you can get like up to 7 or maybe 10 without paying StreamYard for it. So we shall see.
I've been surprised. I did a stream recently because, well, I had a video I was doing, but it fell through. So I'm like, I'll just do a stream.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the people who showed up.
Yeah.
Pleasantly so. Because, you're always, cause I guess it's just a thing, you get that imposter syndrome. Like, oh, who's going to watch my dumbass talk for like 2 hours,
Right.
Apparently, a good couple of people will do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is surprising. I had a fairly good turnout for my chat with StoryTube the other day, and man, we were popping in the comments. It was crazy. A
Yeah,
good
they're
crazy.
they're
But it was
quite
crazy.
popular. Yes.
Yeah. And Fina's here. Hi, Fina. Good to
Hey,
see you.
oh my God. I look horrible. Hi.
Oh, you're great. You're great. I'm glad you made it.
Birthday. Woo!
Yeah, thank you. Here it is. Yeah, I was telling Britton I've got a stack over to the side of books that I ordered that I'm personalizing right now. So, or that I've been working on personalizing today. So,
Gotcha. Are you selling them on your own shop then?
not yet, although people can buy them from me. But I don't have a site to share them on yet or to sell them on yet. But eventually, that's the plan. If people want to buy signed copies, they can. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh well, I suppose I'll let Mona Lisa in.
Okay, I have no volume. Hold on. Oh,
Test
I have my
1, 2,
headphones
3.
in.
I can hear you fine.
3.
Yeah, but I couldn't hear anything because I have my headphones in.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. No problem. And just to let everybody know, it's Mona Lisa's birthday today. Embarrass her for me, please.
Happy birthday.
She's joining me on her birthday. Can you believe that?
That is amazing.
That's a good friend right there, I tell you.
That is, yes.
You should buy her some books for her birthday or something.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, you did. I told Matt tonight, I'm like, I have to buy Charles some books for his birthday now.
Well,
Oh,
it is
no, you
too
don't.
bad.
You're good.
My birthday
Better
is in
puzzle.
March.
Josh Axe is here. Hi, Josh. Hey, Fina, Mona Lisa. Rebecca Nicole says, happy birthday.
Thank you. That's a happy birthday.
See, you're getting all the birthday wishes.
I am.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So her
what-
birthday and then book release birthday, new book birthday, whatever. Yeah, yeah, fairly exciting.
So
So
what
He,
have
he
you
released
two
the book
been?
just for me on my birthday.
what was that?
Said you released it on my birthday just for me.
I did. See, that was planned. What was your
Oh
question?
yes, I'm certain that was planned.
Mm-hmm.
I was just asking what you both are doing on your specific birthdays. What have you done all day to celebrate? Feeding kids. Okay, I know, but other than that,
Oh, it's been a whole thing.
Do I tell? Do I share? No, I mean,
You-
honestly, today my husband had to work, so I was literally home with the kid all day.
Mm.
And today was the day she just didn't want to listen, so that was fun.
Kind of a
Just-
birthday present, right?
Yeah, something
Weird
like
one.
that.
Yeah, it's like your kid was, you're like, child, can you give me some grace? It's my birthday.
Yeah,
And the
her
baby's like,
gift was no. Yeah,
smack
pretty
in the
much. That's
face.
pretty much how it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
no worries, Ted. You're good. And happy
No,
birthday.
I mean, we went out for dinner, picked up some dessert, and that was about it. I did get books from Chaz. They're over here. Haven't put them up yet. Got some not so great news from my family, but hey, I'll deal with it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's okay. It just wasn't expected, and my mom got another dog. And they're gonna probably live with us, and I just wasn't expecting that. So I was like, great. So yeah, my
Another
cat's
kid
really gonna
to
hate me now.
support.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got another happy birthday here from the lovely Primrose Pat. That is,
Prim.
yeah. That's my girlfriend, everybody, just in case you were wondering.
Like for real,
the
or
first
like
Yeah,
that?
for
Mean?
real.
Yeah,
She,
for real.
she was.
It's the first time Prim and I have ever talked.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. She said she might pop in, so I'm glad to have her.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So no,
Yeah.
honestly, we didn't do anything really for my birthday because he had to work and I had her. But we did go to the beach yesterday afternoon for a little bit, so that was kind of nice.
Nice. Well, that's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got books. That's the most important part, right? I mean,
Right.
what is a birthday without getting books?
Who doesn't
But
want books
that,
for their
that was a
birthday?
good checkbox.
Yeah. Well, and the nice thing is it's books I wanted, so now I don't have to buy them. So that makes it even better. It's like, yeah, I've been keeping tabs of the ones you said you want on your shelves. I'm like, perfect. So
I
Well,
assure
I mean,
you I exist. Yep.
I know you exist. I've seen pictures. So.
Well,
If
I know
Charles starts
people
lying
like
to me
for
now, we're
me
in trouble.
to say it's my girlfriend. I thought that's what Chaz meant at first. I guess not.
What's that?
Never mind.
Okay. It's all good.
So,
Yeah.
Chaz,
So,
what
what
did-
plans for
what
your
did you
birthday,
do?
Chaz?
What's that? What was
You
that,
go
Mona
first,
Lisa?
Mona Lisa. You go first.
Oh,
Well, I think it's basically what Fina was asking is, what are you planning for your birthday?
Oh, I don't know yet. I'm going to probably get together with Brianna at some point during the day. I have the day off on my birthday. I do that every year. I take the day off on my birthday. So in fact, I have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off that week. I think I purposely took those days off. So I'm sure there will be much relaxing and a few shenanigans as well. So. I haven't quite decided. It's 49 this year, so I'll probably be doing some existential dread as I approach 50, right?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say ecstasy. I'm like, geez, Chaz.
Oh yeah,
I knew
no,
you had it in you.
no.
like,
Well, the
"Geez,
people we
man."
know would enjoy that one.
Right? Yeah. There's no
Straight
the
up
most.
shooting up over here.
Yeah, no, you won't catch me on that stuff. I'm weird enough as it is.
Amen.
Yeah.
I thought you were a wholesome man, Chaz. I know you were doing drugs.
Yeah, no, about the most I'm gonna get up to on my birthday is maybe a beverage or two, and that's about it. So, yeah,
You and Brianna
and
might
some
go
good
like
food.
watch
You
a
can't go
movie.
wrong with food.
Sorry.
Being forced to celebrate my birthday next month, as it's going to be my 40th, and my bestie refuses to let me ignore it. Your bestie is a good friend, Jenny. Yes. Yeah,
Because she
no
knows
one
it's
should
not.
ignore their 40th birthday.
Yeah, she knows it's not as bad as it sounds. You'll be fine. I just had my 40th this year. I speak of experience. It's going to be fine.
I'm gonna
Gosh,
be
you guys are just
24.
babies.
Oh,
be
you're a young pup.
I know. I feel so old.
No, yeah, sometimes I'll just be sitting in my bed at night and I'll be looking up at the wall and I'll be like, I'm gonna be 24, and then I'm gonna be 25, and then I'm gonna be 30, and I get all freaked out because
I don't want to be that young anymore, though. So I'm good.
No, I
I'm
mean
good that my
I'm
20s are
trying
done.
to keep on, trying to hang on to it. It's just existential angst, man. Get older.
Well, it
Can't do
was
nothing about
funny. I was watching a YouTube video earlier. Somebody was talking about the new Salem's Lot adaptation, and they were talking about the setting, and of course, it's set in the 70s, and they said, yeah, that there are a lot of things that harken back to the olden days when the story takes place, and I'm like, the olden days, huh? The 70s are the olden days now. I'm like, dude, you did not just say that.
Who said that?
Oh, I won't name names. I'm just giving him a hard time anyway. It's all good. He and I are good friends. I'm like, man, young pup. Hi, Nicole. Good to see you. No existential dread till next year. That is true. That is true. I shouldn't be getting into the existential dread already. Very true. I ignore all my birthdays, but she loves celebrating birthdays whether you want to or not. Well, there you go. Just another example of a good friend.
Again, as long as she gets you a book and some cake, everything is fine.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing else matters on a birthday.
Absolutely. So I hope you guys don't mind. I was showing it earlier. I did buy a bottle of Asti from Martini and Rossi, and I'm going to celebrate with a little champagne.
You're actually going to drink it.
I am. I figured this was 8 years in the making. The least I can do is have a glass of champagne.
Yeah, now that it's out.
So,
what was the feeling? I don't know. Did you guys talk already about it? What was the feeling? I saw the picture of you earlier with the box. What was your feeling when you opened the box and finally had it in your hand?
Oh boy, that was that was weird. That was really weird. Even though I released a book before, it's funny. My cover artist shared it on her Facebook, and she was saying it's always surreal seeing a book cover that I created be published, and it's kind of the same way for me. Even though I've released a book before, it's still kind of surreal. Like, I created this. I put this together. I poured blood, sweat, and tears. Well, maybe not literally, but I poured a good chunk of my life into this book. So
what's the Nomad's Crucible about, Chaz? For those who don't know.
Yeah,
like myself.
It is about an arcane assassin who basically gets embroiled in a turf war between two major factions that live on a desolate planet, and he's been raised all his life with only the knowledge that he was built to kill. And as the book progresses, he realizes he was meant to do more than that. So kind of destiny took a hand with him. And that's the essential. I'm not doing it justice, really. I may read a little bit from it later in the stream, though. So if anybody's interested in that, I don't know if they are, but.
Did you finish it, Fina?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it on Goodreads? Can I add it on Goodreads, Jazz?
Oh, yeah. Yep, it's there.
All right, I'm gonna.
I haven't posted my review yet.
I haven't finished it yet.
What? It's so good.
I have a 20-month-old.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, no pressure to release the video anytime soon, Fina. It's fine.
Wait, what?
Wait, he keeps saying no pressure to read my book. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
You will get there, and as long as you enjoy the ride, it's all good.
Right.
I am enjoying
Exactly.
it. So here's another
Thanks,
question about the holding the book. Was it different than the first book you wrote? Because this time you're like doing the booktube thing, and I don't think you were doing that when Tondor's Guest came out. So like you have a wider
right.
audience, and so there's like more of a following for it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that does make it a very different experience. Although I don't promote my books a whole lot on my channel. I've been chastised for that several times for not promoting it more. But yeah, I kind of like to keep my channel about other people's books, but I do writing updates and stuff like that. And you know, when my book releases, I obviously want to promote it. So, but I didn't go into YouTube with the intention of promoting my book, but I guess it was just kind of a happy afterthought. Oh, by the way, here's my book, kind of thing. So, but then there's a large corner of YouTube. There's AuthorTube is really big, and there's a lot of people that are writing and promoting and talking about writing out there. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. And I'm actually considering doing a quarterly writing check-in next year as a way to keep myself accountable to actually writing more books. So letting people know where I'm at.
Especially, I don't want to spoil anything, but that ending, I know it's a standalone. It is a standalone, but there's more, right? Right?
Well, there will be other books in my universe. Not necessarily a sequel to this book, though. Although that could happen in the future. There are some things at the end of the book, Fina, that I guess could lead toward a second book if I wanted to. Yeah. Yeah. So
I think you better just write it, or else Fina may go crazy.
Right. Well, I've already had one of my friends tell me. I've already had one of my friends tell me that she's expecting the second book. I'm like, okay, we'll see how that goes.
Look at what you started.
I know, right?
You're a poopster.
So is Primrose Path a reference to Hamlet or progressive metal? It's a reference to a few things, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
What's progressive metal?
Progressive metal?
Like prog rock.
Yeah, progressive rock. That would
Rush.
be kind of like what was that, Britton?
I said Rush. Well, they're not really metal though.
Yeah.
What's prog metal?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
What's the band that Mike Portnoy's in? Dream Theater. Dream Theater's prog metal.
Are they? Okay.
Or I consider it that.
I'm with you. I'm
yeah. There's some even more progressive stuff than that now. So there was a kid on TikTok that referred to 2002 as retro, and I was like, "Excuse me, how dare you?" Yeah, right.
I was only a year old.
Oh God! Will you just stop?
My first child was born in 2004. Okay.
Wait, let me take my teeth out for a second here, and then we can talk.
I was barely out of my mom, exploring the world.
Too much detail.
Oh, yes, a reading. Okay, we have someone wants a reading. Josh has demanded a reading. We shall make that happen for sure. And Nikhil from Shelfless Steam is here. Glad to see you, man. Definitely go check out his channel too. He's a musician, and he's actually worked on like His Dark Materials and the Wheel of Time show and things like that. He's the serious stuff right there.
So is he making then the soundtrack to your book? Is that how that works then?
That would be a cool idea, right? Maybe we should make that happen.
Wait, is there another Shelfless Steam? There's a guy named Brian. He has a similar channel.
Okay.
I'm confused now. Like, I need to talk to that guy.
You talking about Brian at BellTube or?
No, not BellTube.
Oh, okay.
I have talked to BellTube for my podcast. No.
Oh, he's in. Okay, well, I guess we may have to make that.
There you go.
That means you need to start working on the audiobook probably sooner rather than later.
I do, yeah. I need to get the audiobook done for Talendor's guest first, and that will. I'm going to be working hard on that next year, hopefully, to get that out. So,
but no stress, Chaz. No stress.
Yeah, no stress
Second
at all,
book,
right?
Audiobooks, soundtracks for the books.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, no pressure at all.
Who needs a social life?
Right? As if I didn't have one already. Oh my. I'm going to try and get some sleep before I have to get up for work in 4 hours. Watch the rest on replay.
You won't be able to do that with 40 anymore. I tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came. Thanks, Jenny.
Bye, Jenny.
All right. Well, I guess I will go for the reading. But first, I just want to say this is my toast to you guys for joining me. And thank you for all your support, my lovely friends. And
Prost.
Barely have any left.
All right. Who's ready for a reading here?
Regale us with your tale.
Regale us. Oh, whoops. Hit the wrong button there. Okay. All right. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read a little bit of the beginning of chapter 1, and we'll leave you guys in suspense for the rest. Okay. All right. Here we go. A mangled and bloody mess of sinews, bone, and rotting flesh lay on the rock floor 20 feet below, the remains of a body he had made lifeless mere moments ago. He stood tall, feet firmly planted in the parched soil at the edge of the desert cliff above, as he stared down at it without even a flicker of emotion. His ash-gray duster fluttered in the wind, and his hat would have flown away into the bowels of the wide empty chasm, were it not for the rope that held it around his neck. He held a blade in each hand, each 2 feet in length, the instruments of his deed. Dark black blood dripped from the twin prongs of each one and pooled in the dirt by his feet. The ground behind him bore a trail of the same black blood, mixed with dirt where his wounded prey had attempted to escape him. Even the idea of the attempted escape amused him. No one escaped the Nomad. Eluded for a time, perhaps. Escaped, never. He always did his duty. He reached into his coat and removed a long, wide woolen cloth and wiped the blades clean. As he did, the cloth began to smolder. Shit, he thought to himself as he tossed the ruined rag down into the chasm. The fire went out behind his eyes, and the runes upon the weapons gradually stopped glowing. He fitted them into their harness within the fold of his duster and stepped away from the cliff's edge, replacing his hat upon his head within the first few steps. Black blood. He'd heard the tales. The black mist enters them, and their blood changes forever. They change forever. What were they? Why were they? Why did they behave in this manner? His place was not to speculate. It was a job, pure and simple, like the many jobs before that he had completed. He walked about a mile back across the barren, parched terrain to the oasis where he had located the miserable wretch. His hover cycle waited by the clearing where he left it to chase down his prey as it tried to get away. Not many hover cycles still existed. They were phased out in favor of better options. The power core in his had died long ago, but he didn't need the power core. He laid his hand on the center console, his eyes going wild with fire again, and the cycle flared to life. The thrum of power enthralled him for a time, and then he climbed on eagerly and sped off, the ultrasonic propulsion leaving not a trace. His surroundings whipped around him, but he didn't notice. His mind was elsewhere. Why was I sent after that thing? What could they possibly have gained from his death? The Nomad never questioned his assignments, but he had also never encountered a black blood. He never wanted to again. He'd ruined a perfectly good cloth. All right, so that is the first section of chapter 1.
Good work, Chaz. You've done well.
Thank you. And there's more to come if you pick it up and read the book. That just a tease there. I'm glad you liked it, Josh. Thank you.
I wasn't sure. I mean, you and I have talked about the book as you were working on it and whatnot, but I wasn't really sure what to expect because I read Talender's Guest, and that was a bunch of short stories.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't sure what to expect. And this, I mean, I'm not done, but what I've read so far, I was really surprised at, just because we've learned as we've read short stories together that I'm not a short story person. I enjoyed some of them, but like I'm always left wanting more. So this has been a completely different experience because it's a full length book, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was in your head. Like, it's so different than like what I've always known about you in a way, like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Versus, who you are now. So I don't know that I would have ever guessed that you would have written that when I first met you.
Okay, so, that's cool.
And it's not bad. It's just I didn't know what to expect, but I really enjoyed it. So
well, good. I'm glad. Thank you. Yeah, you'd be surprised at what's in my head.
I don't want to know anymore.
The interesting thing is, though, that now that you have said that, you obviously know him much longer than I do. But I had moments where I was like, yeah, this is Chaz. This is so Chaz. There were moments where it's like, this is him as a father coming through and those types of things that I thought, yep, absolutely. I can see him in the book. So it's fascinating to hear your side, that there are also aspects of like, no, that's not so typical him. I didn't expect that. Not in a bad way, just as an observation. I find that interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've known him since 98. So he was a completely different person back then. And this was like pre-kids and pre-marriage, and it was like college. And so he was very different in a lot of ways back then. As far as like his overall person is like caring and kind and all that stuff, still the same. But just the way he thinks about life and religion, even maybe say, and just a lot of different aspects has changed over the years. And so I think for me that the person I knew in 98, I don't think would have ever written this book. But the person I know now, I do see him. It's just, I guess I'm just looking back at who I originally knew now. And
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from with that, Mona Lisa. And I think, I mean, I've always had an extremely active imagination ever since I was a little kid. But where I was at when you first met me, that Chaz probably would not have written this, maybe. Yeah.
I didn't know that your imagination was what it was even then. Like, we didn't discuss books like this, and our conversations were completely different. It was about different things. So I never knew this part of your brain back then. It's not till the last 3 or 4 years that we've really discussed this kind of, the books and what you
Mhm.
liked and all that kind of stuff. So I guess that's where I've known him so long, not knowing this side, that it was kind of like, oh. And so, and it may, and Fina, you've known him a shorter amount where like, this is all you've known. So
Yeah, very
it
true.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like Josh says, that's nice to hear. If you're the same person that you were 20 years ago, you wasted 20 years. And I definitely get where he's coming from. If you're not growing and changing throughout your life, it's kind of like, what have you done in a sense?
I'm a different person than who I was a year ago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Totally. Yeah. You're welcome, Rebecca. Thank you so much. And I understand you need to head out. Thank you for joining. Hi, Diane. Good to see you. Thank you.
So, since this is the second book, you said you read this or worked on this for about 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
How did when did Talender's Guest happen then? Did you start that after you started Nomad's Crucible or before, or?
I didn't. I started it before. Yes, I've been writing a long time. In fact, let me see if I can find. Well, I've got Talender's Guest over here, but I was looking to see if I had the original on my shelf, and I know I have it. I just must have packed it away. So Talender's Guest is the first book, of course, and here's that one. But Talender's Guest was originally called Dragon Shorts, a collection of outlandish tales.
Oh.
Yeah. Hi, Leia.
Wait, I don't know where my computer.
Uh-oh. No.
Yeah, she'll be back. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Gotta love those cats. They're just straight up
right
run up on you.
Yeah, Ari was engaged in her dinner when I left to do the stream. So if I hear her pawing at the door, I'll let her in later. But
that's why I went back earlier to let her in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. So yeah, Talender's Guest was originally Dragon Shorts, a collection of outlandish tales, and it was just a book of short stories. And then I got picked up by a small publisher, and that whole thing went to crap. We won't go into all the details with that, but in that process, they talked me into reworking it with a frame story to turn it into a novel with kind of like and it turns out it kind of had like an Arabian Nights or that sort of feel to it. So the beginning of Talender's Guest and the end of Talender's Guest is actually the new frame story that I created for it. And if you know my dragon logo on my YouTube channel, that was the original book cover for Dragon Shorts. So I didn't want to waste the piece of art because I really liked what he did with it, and so I kept it and reused it. But yeah, so I originally wrote and finished the story in 2014. I released it as Dragon Shorts, and then I got picked up by that publisher, and so I delisted it and re-released it with them initially in 2015, and then that all went to hell, and so they gave me all my rights back and everything, and I re-released it in 2016 under my own imprint. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's been a long and storied history, but Talender's Guest has been around for quite a while.
So you're a one-book writer guy then?
That's kind of what I like to do, yeah. It's not that I don't have a series in me. I probably do. But I feel like so far the stories that I've told are complete in and of themselves. So, and I kind of feel like it's nice to provide that one shot to readers. They don't have to wait for me to release the next book in the series.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But I also think Fina's trying to push you to do a sequel. Just saying.
Can there be a standalone sequel? That's totally fine. I'm good with that too.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, but you can also tell, judging from the fact that it took me 8 years to get the Nomad's Crucible out, that I would be one of those authors that people were cursing left and right if I ended up being another George R. R. Martin. So it's probably better
no,
that I
I mean,
write
8
it.
years is okay. I mean, there, as long as it's 8 years and then you come out with a book and not 8 years and you're still at the same spot as you were 8 years ago,
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
I'm
no
also
stress.
wondering
Whatever.
if. Go ahead.
No, sorry. You go. I'll go. Blah, blah. I could.
I'm just wondering because life is very different for you now. You don't have the kids at home, and life circumstances are different. I'm wondering if because your life is different, the next book could be less than 8 years.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Trying.
Having kids at home definitely makes it challenging to write.
Really?
Yeah. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Not at all.
I don't
can't
have
read,
kids
much
yet.
less write.
Right.
I don't have kids yet.
That's
Enjoy it.
quite all right. Enjoy the non-parent life.
But
You've got plenty
I'd
of time.
I'd like to have a kid someday.
Oh yeah.
Not right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe in
You'll
like
know
10
when the right
years.
time is for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to enjoy where you are in life at the moment, whatever that is. So enjoy the freedom because it changes your life. So yeah,
I'm sure you can't like run off to the bookstore as much when you have a child running around.
not unless the husband stays home and watches her for me.
Right. Or if it's a family outing.
Yeah.
Family. Hi, Alyssa. Good to see you. Thank you for joining.
So what's the plan as far as writing? I know you're updating Talendor's Guest, but as far as like the next book, what in your head are the plans?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, I'm reformatting Talendor's Guest to be a little bit more presentable in the same way that Nomad's Crucible is. But then, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Too much
I've
champagne.
got 2 projects. Sorry.
No drugs. No alcohol, no
These are
drugs.
like 2 sips. Lightweight.
It's bubbly. What can I say?
Well, if you think he's a lightweight.
Oh,
Don't see
actually,
me
not
drinking
really,
beer.
but
Good luck
Okay,
watching me
so-
drink a beer.
so yeah, I've got 2 projects in the works. One is a novella, and that is kind of a prequel to everything that I write. And so that is the one that I've done the most work on, and I may focus on that one. But I've also got a new full-length novel that I'm cogitating on. So I think I'll probably kind of focus on both of those and see which one ends up exciting me the most, to go forward with it. So, but yeah, those are the 2 things that I have plans for as far as new stuff. But I've got a whole list of probably 15 different ideas that I've just jotted down that I've come up with, whether it was dreams I had and I woke up in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh, that's good. And then, or just random things I think about throughout the day. I'm like, oh, that can make a cool story, and I'll quickly jot it down. So I've got at least 15 of those.
So do you have always a little journal with you of some sort where you then write down the ideas, or?
Not really. It's Google Notes.
Can I just point something out to you, my dear friend? If you have 15, let me point something out to you. If you have 15 ideas in your head, and each one takes you 8 years, I just 120 years.
Yeah. Well, there's there's always the afterlife. I could just come back and haunt people with my stories.
You better take your vitamins though, so you can write them while you're still alive. Yeah.
Right.
It's going to take 8 years for every one of them.
Yeah. That is the reality, right? I'm probably not going to get all of my books written, but at least I have the ideas, and who
It's always the
knows?
thing, you have a bunch of ideas you wanna do, and then you're like, damn it, where do I start next?
Yeah,
Number 16 is right around the corner.
it's definitely a challenge sometimes to
Like I
figure out.
wrote a
go.
fantasy novel, and I'm still in the midst of editing it. And I started work on a western, and that's stalled out at the moment. So here I am now.
So now you go back to the fantasy?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking about starting the sequel to my fantasy. We'll see.
Why don't you finish the fantasy and get that out?
I know. I should do that.
Then
We
you
haven't
have
found
one less
time to
thing on the
edit it
brain.
yet. I had it edited, and I edited it, and I put it down on my, or I'll edit it some more, and I'm still here like 6 months later, and I haven't done anything yet. So here we go.
Oh, you got plenty of time. You got like 7.5 more years before you catch up to Chaz. You're good.
There you go. Exactly.
Hopefully, let's just hope I don't take 8 years to write my magnum opus. All right.
There you
How
go.
about that?
But you're
Right.
so young. You got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
And
people keep telling me
isn't
that.
even my magnum opus, or at least I don't think it is. So
So
We
here's like
only know
another
once you
question.
wrote a couple more books and published them, then we will know which one is your magnum opus.
right,
go.
yeah, exactly.
So I remember us having a conversation and you saying like the stories in Talendor's Guest, you want to expand on all of them, correct? Is that where some of these fit?
Some of them, yeah. In fact, the current full-length novel that I'm thinking about includes the Ink Master as a character.
Yes. Does he get his own book? Like,
it will kind of get his own book. You'll find out his origins in this story. Yeah.
Okay, and the next one will be like a full-length one on him, right? Because that's the one I want. Out of all of them, that's the one that I think that intrigued me the most.
Yeah. You're not alone. A lot of people said that to me. They're like, out of all the stories, I think I like the Ink Master the most. So
give the people what they want.
Right.
Give her sequel and give us the Ink Master.
So yeah, so the novel that I'm planning to work on next, or at least I'm hoping to work on next, takes place in the world that the Ink Master exists, and he will feature heavily as at least as a secondary main character, if not one of the main characters. So yeah, but I don't know if you'll ever get a full origin story for him.
So your assassin character is going to do more assassiny things?
Maybe in the future. There's always the potential. So I envision in my head my book. All of my books take place loosely in a multiverse of sorts, but I don't want to make it so multiversey that people can't just pick up a book randomly and start there. I don't want to pull a Sanderson. That's just not my style. But eventually I could see characters from my books crossing over into other stories.
I was going to say, are you going to pull a Stephen King? Because I know, like, the guy from the Dark Tower shows up in other books, and
he does, right?
I'm watching another booktuber that says that, like, some of the characters from it shows up in, I think it was Billy Summers or something. So, or like, no, 11/22/63. So, like, there's characters from his other books that are showing up in everything.
That's what I could see myself doing more, is more of like a Stephen King and not really a Brandon Sanderson. I don't feel like I need to create because it feels like he's eventually heading toward an Avengers style thing with the Cosmere, and I don't see the need to do that personally. But there's always the possibilities of stuff of crossovers happening for sure. But that'll be later on down the road. I might be in my 80s by then. Who knows? Ariel's here. Hello, hello. And I happen to think Fred's origin story is pretty good. Yes. And okay, so she's the one that's wanting book 2 from me, Fina. So you're not alone. She's
I'll
the one.
probably feel that way once I finish it. So just add me to the list.
Okay, all right. So we've got 3 demanding a sequel. Like new, yeah, maybe. I guess would his. I don't know if there's necessarily cross. Well, no, there are crossovers with his too. The hemp sock family features pretty regularly in Neil Gaiman books. So
is that the one from Ocean?
Yes, and well, I don't want to spoil anything for you for the next book you're planning to read, Mona Lisa. Okay. But yeah,
the one I'm currently reading.
Oh, did you start it already? Yeah.
Yeah, I started it yesterday.
Okay, cool. Well, I won't say anything, but yes.
Okay. So the question is then, with all the ideas and all of us who want a continuation of various of your already existing stories, do you put time aside every day? Do you put like 30 minutes, an hour aside every day, say like I'm writing now? Or do you just write whenever you have, like when the muse hits you, basically? And
yeah, I write whenever the muse hits me, although I think I don't want to just be a writer. I really do want to be a regular author and everything. So I think I need to be better about like setting aside actual time every day to write. So that's going to be my goal for the next year, is to sit down and write every day. And I know Stephen does at least 500 words a day or something.
Yeah. Plus creating the website, plus creating the audiobook, and number 2, plus working on the soundtrack. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Plus we're working on the merch. There was something about that too, right?
Yeah. I've got my merch I'm working on. Exactly. So
still being a dad and
I need that cloning machine to be created quickly and to be affordable as well, because
one of you's enough, dude. One of you's enough.
Okay, fine. You're right. You're not wrong. Yeah, one of me's enough. It's probably too much.
It's not too much. It's like right there on the line in like.
Oh, okay. Borderline. I get it. Yeah.
Fina, can you tell it's been a while we've known each other?
Yes.
Yep.
That's okay though.
Getting very intimate here on this chat.
And we have one person to blame.
Dwayne.
A mutual friend of ours named Dwayne. He is to blame for our becoming.
Yeah. So we were in college, and I had gone to high school with this guy. And one of the reasons I went to this college was Dwayne was supposed to be going there. He had gone there the year before. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go back to school with Dwayne again. I'm so excited. Yay. And then like 2 weeks before school started, he left town and moved to Oregon. I was like, ugh. So we were at Chapel, it was a Bible college, and I hear Charles saying something to somebody. I don't even remember who you're talking to. And you're like, yeah, he like moved up to be closer to his family in Oregon, blah, blah. I'm like, are you talking about Dwayne? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I know him. I've known him for years. And so we got talking, and we've been friends ever since. So I don't think we really had a lot of classes or even had any classes.
Yeah, not really. We just happen to have a similar brand of crazy, and we just all kind of flocked together, right?
Yeah, all the friends that we have kind of interweaved each other, and And if we did have classes, we didn't sit near each other. But I don't think we had any classes because my major was completely different than yours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And you were technically already like a year ahead of me. Because you had transferred a bunch of credits, right?
yeah, I came my junior year and I graduated 2000. Did you do a 1?
Yeah, I graduated in 01.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it goes back to Dwayne. Like, we blame him for our friendship.
Yeah, we do.
Which is funny because I'm going to be in town here shortly, and Dwayne and his wife, who we went to college with, and Chaz and I, my husband and daughter, are all going to get together and hang out one night. So
I don't know if the city is ready for that.
I don't think so. Good things.
Let alone the restaurant.
Good thing Phoenix is big.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
it might survive the onslaught.
Yeah. It's gonna be, it's fun that, like, you know, Dwayne's involved and, you know, we're still all friends, and I know Chaz and him get together every so often, so it's kind of fun to see how we're still all friends and hang out and get together. So yeah, but we blame Dwayne.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Will there be then a video once you're all in town together about We're Blaming Dwayne with the 3 of you then?
Oh, that would be interesting.
God.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Does he read?
Yes.
I mean, books, like fantasy books? I mean, he probably reads stuff, but specifically.
But I don't think fantasy is really his genre. It's his wife's genre. His wife is a fantasy author.
Yeah, she does. So I'm sure he reads her books.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much beyond her stuff.
I think he's probably too busy to really do a whole lot of reading.
And 2 of the kids have moved out. He's got plenty of time now. So
yeah,
he's got 5 kids.
Yeah, 2 out of the 5 kids have moved out. He's still busy.
And so
I had
he's
2
got
kids.
way more time.
5 kids? Oh my God.
5 kids. Yeah.
Boy.
Well, I remember when Laura was pregnant with, I think it was their 4th or 5th, and like he made some random comment on Facebook about his wife being pregnant. I'm like, is she pregnant again? He said, yeah. And I said, did you announce it? And he goes, no, people just, you know, at this point, they either ask us why we're having so many kids or all the excitement's gone. So,
Sure.
I'm gonna take off. I
Sorry,
just wanted to hang out for. I was just gonna say I'm just gonna take off. I just wanted to hang out real quick. Good seeing you, Chaz. Congrats on the book, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Britton. I really do. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you.
All right, take care, everyone, and nice meeting you.
Fantasy book.
What's that?
Oh, okay.
Telling him to finish his fantasy
that's right. Yeah, we want to see that fantasy book or whatever
book
I
will.
End up writing. So
I will. All right, take care, everyone.
Take care. You too.
Right.
Oh, all righty.
I think
Well,
if we gave Dwayne your book when we get together, he'd probably read it.
You think he would? Yeah.
Maybe not right away.
He was asking me about it last time we got together. So yeah.
And if he doesn't read it, I'm sure Laura will. So
yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, she probably will. Yeah. She's also an editor. She does editing for a living. So yeah. Besides her writing. So yeah, she has both hands in the game.
And I think a toe.
And what?
And I think a toe.
A tail, yeah. Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay, so back to your book. Do you have a timeline for like the novella or the next book, like an idea of when you'd want them out?
Well, ideally, I would like to at least finish the novella if I make a concerted effort and work hard on it next year. I'd like to finish writing it by the end of next year. which means I would be shooting for a release of maybe summer of 26. And that will be as of right now, at least the plan is for that to be ebook only, and I will be selling that on my website exclusively. So I'm not going to give that one to Amazon. So that's the plan anyway.
Yeah.
I've just read an email. I find that very interesting. I forgot who, but one of the many indie authors that I've subscribed to on a newsletter just sent one out and basically said they started selling their book on their website and had it running for a month or so. And he said that he earned double as much in that month through sales from his website versus the sales from Amazon.
Oh yeah, I could totally see
crazy.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think for the novella, if I do the novella first, most likely I would be selling that for 99 cents. I don't, I see these traditionally published authors, they release their new books, and like I think was it Untethered Sky? I think when that book came out from Fonda Lee, it's a novella and it was selling for like $13 for the ebook. I'm like, no judgment, I know the publishing houses have to make back their money and everything too, but I'm like, for a novella, that just seems ridiculous to me. I don't want to do that to people. If you're buying a novella from me, I think it's about worth 99 cents.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the length of the novella, really, right? I mean, it's a difference if it's a 50-page novella versus like 130-page, right? So
yeah.
And also the fact that if it's an ebook only, you don't have the overhead costs of the price of printing and the paper and the, and the postage and everything. Like all those overhead costs are gone. It's just a matter of sending the file to the e-reader. So to still be charging $13 seems greedy.
Yeah. That's definitely my personal viewpoint on it. And other people do it, and that's fine. I don't want to sound judgy. I really don't. For me personally, I think since it's pure profit, 99 cents or maybe if it's 100 pages, $1.99 at most.
Yeah.
I think that's more than enough to ask people to pay. So, but yeah. Especially when I'm not having the overhead of Amazon taking their share. If I sell it solely on my website, then Amazon doesn't have to collect a profit from it. So
and it sounds like it's getting better even for indie authors from what I'm seeing, with that you can do more stuff outside of Amazon. I mean, for the longest time, again, I have zero experience with any of that, but just from what I'm observing with the indie author community, right? It sounds like for the longest time, Amazon was your best bet because it just got the most eyes on it. But now it sounds like there's more awareness, I think, generally also from readers to look at other places. And also more options. Like Ingram Micro sounds like there's more now. Again, I don't know if they've always done this or if this is more obvious nowadays that you as an author can get your books better through other means. So, as long as it's doable and you have access to those options, why give Amazon the money?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think at some point, I've talked about this before, at some point I may even take all of my books off of Amazon exclusivity and sell them on my website as well. And right now I have I am using the Kindle Select so that I can get the most profit from it, percentage of the profits. But I think eventually once I get my website up and running, I may look at removing that exclusivity and sell it on my website and other places as well. Yeah, just to give people the most options.
Yeah. Well, and you can personalize stuff then, right? So that's the nice thing when you order directly from an author, you get a personalized package if you order the physical book.
Yeah.
There's maybe a handwritten note in it. Like every time I ordered from an author's website, it was really wrapped really nicely. There was always something with it,
Right.
handwritten note, whatever. And it's just so much nicer.
You could get some really cool
envelope.
Yeah.
I could see you making some really cool bookmarks or something that has to do with something within the story, like something like with Talendor's guest doing like the dragon on there or something, you know. So just an idea.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I do have plans to look into some options for that. Um, once I, for personalized copies and everything. And right now, even like if just putting this out there, people are watching and they want a personalized signed copy, I am going to be ordering some more stock. I have a limited stock right now. I'm going to be ordering some more stock. So, if you wanted to email me to get a signed copy, and we can do it through Venmo or whatever, I have that option. Oh, you want one, Fina? Okay.
You know what's funny is he's known that I'm coming to town for a few weeks now, and he keeps going. He like sends me a picture of the books in the box. I'm like, congrats and everything. He's like, I'll mail you one soon. I'm like, no, remember, I'm coming to town. Just hand it to me. Save the postage. He's like, oh yeah, and he's done that like 3 times. I've had to remind him, like, I'm coming to town, dude. Like,
That's right. Yeah.
so.
He just wants you to have it as soon as possible.
Well, and I appreciate it, but I've got the ebook, which I'm still working on. So
Yeah.
he's
I
been
sent
really
her.
gracious about me taking forever to read it and just been a good friend. And I'm like, save the money on the postage. It's all good.
That's the least I can do for you.
This is my gift to you. Save $2.99, or actually, it'd probably be like $8 at this point.
Yeah.
Although media mail is okay still, right? I think media mail is still manageable.
Yeah. Media mail's not bad at all. I think it's depending on what you're sending, maybe $8 to $10, maybe less than that.
No, way less. Like the book that I sent to you, Chaz, it was like $2.30 or something.
Oh, really?
It was like $2.
Okay. I was way off.
Really expensive. Yeah.
Way less.
Okay. Hey, Chad, welcome.
Hey.
Glad to see ya. Wow, man, you grew your hair out. Looks good.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you could join us. Welcome. So for everyone watching, here's the amazing Chad Nicholas in the flesh, or in virtual flesh anyway. Yeah. How you been, man?
Pretty good.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Glad
just
to hear it. You're finally
done
done with school and
Yes.
enjoying a break.
Yeah, I was very happy to. I didn't mind college too much, but I was very, very happy on that last day driving home.
I bet you were. Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed college. I don't know that, I had to go back and do it again, though.
Yeah.
I know
I
Chaz
know. What's that?
I know you wouldn't.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, I'm fully enjoying my freedom from studies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun, but that was a different time. So
Yeah. It was a very different time. Yeah. I met a lot of great people there and
thank you.
learned some interesting things and unlearned quite a few things later on down the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'd do it again. Unless I had to
So
do
what was your
life
major,
over.
Chad?
I have no choice. What's that?
Oh, I did mechanical engineering.
Oh, that's what my husband does.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Smart
what
stuff.
my
Smart
kids uncle
people stuff.
too.
So do you have a job?
Not yet. I took a few months off to finish a writing project because I did some jobs while I was in college, so I had enough to take a couple months off to finish up writing before I go into a career.
Go into the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Enjoy the
that's a
freedom.
really good plan. If you can do it,
Yeah.
that's an awesome way to do it.
Yeah.
In which direction do you want to go with your degree? What do you want to do with that?
I don't really have anything specific. Mostly just look for a good engineering job somewhere close to home. I drove an hour and a half to get to college every day, so I'd really like to cut that commute down for my actual job because that was not fun.
Do you mind if I ask where you live? You don't
I
have to
live in
say.
Texas,
I thought so.
in Sulphur Bluff specifically, but the accent gave it away, I assume.
Oh, did we lose her?
Yeah, I think we lost Mona Lisa there. Oh, there she is.
I was just going to say, we live in Virginia. I know the shipyards are always hiring engineers. So if you want to change the scenery.
No, I've been to Virginia before. It's a nice state.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I went out. No. I just want something different. I've been here a while. So, but it is gorgeous. I love having seasons because in Phoenix, you don't get seasons.
I just wanted to say, get rid of that heat. 120 and something rather. Yeah.
One of
One of
my
my
other
favorite.
best. Go.
No, you go. You good. Oh,
It's not my channel.
Okay, all right. One of my favorite places that I've been to in Virginia is Roanoke. It's just absolutely gorgeous there. Yeah. And then, of course, my second favorite place has to be to visit you guys. I mean, I guess I'll say that.
I will say, you ever want to invite Chaz to your home and you're like always worried about guests? He was literally the easiest guest we have ever had in our home. It was so pleasant to have him visit. So,
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, if you know the heat in Arizona, people always ask me, like, what's it like? And I'm like, put your oven to 400. Let it heat up. When it dings, open the door. And that's like going from your air-conditioned home to outside.
Yep.
It's like the wave of like heat that hits you. Yeah. So, but my best friend, I was talking to her today. She's like, it's going to be 80 today. And I'm like, I'm going to be 65. And she's like, I hate you. And I'm like, you choose to live there. So,
Yeah.
I've been to Arizona a couple times. It's always warm. We walked down the Grand Canyon way back when.
Oh yeah.
when did you go?
I don't know. I was pretty young, like
Summer?
10 years ago, maybe. I mean, yeah, it was in the summer. Yeah, middle summer.
Go
Yeah.
from like November to March.
Or go to the, like, what is it, Strawberry Flagstaff area. They have,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not as warm up there, but yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely nicer there for sure.
At least, 10, 15 degrees, if not 20 degrees cooler than
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Texas, when I go to other states, if it's not hot, it doesn't feel right. Need that humidity.
Yeah.
Well, you have at least, you don't have humidity in Arizona. That's at least the one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nice about it.
Yeah.
It actually
I
felt
would
better than we were used to.
Because I've lived in both, right? I've lived, Virginia gets pretty humid. I'm like, you reach a point of miserable with either one. So it's like, which miserable do you like best?
I
Right.
prefer the
Heat
dry
layer.
heat. Yeah, I'm definitely, I mean, heat is either way, but if I have to choose between humid heat and dry heat all the way. I've done
Because you
Florida
dry
once in the summer. It was nope.
You don't ever get dry.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never do. That's very true.
Yeah.
What's the since I've never been, what's the climate like in Germany where you're from, Fina?
Germany has seasons. So I compare it to Iowa because Iowa is the only state that I know has similar seasons, but just because I don't know if Virginia would be similar. I don't think it gets as cold as sometimes like in the, Massachusetts, like that area up there. I don't think it gets as cold in Germany, but you have your regular winter, you have snow. Summer it gets up to, oh God, now I have to convert Celsius into Fahrenheit, like
Right.
80 maybe, 80, 85, so that direction. At a hottest point
Is it
for a
humid
short
or
week.
is it humid or more dry?
It depends. You can have it humid, but you can have it dry. So it really depends on, because if it's really hot, it's only hot for a day or two. And then either you have a big thunderstorm and then it gets into the humidity area, or, it just cools down again and then you have it dry. It really depends.
Gotcha.
You have it all there. You have it all. Minus the fires, minus the tornadoes. You have floods every now and then, but, you deal with those.
Right. Yeah, that sounds pretty nice for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't miss the winter. I have to say that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I could without the 120 degrees here, but I don't miss the winter.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then are you along the coast, Chad, or are you more inland?
I'm northeast Texas. I'm like an
Okay.
hour from hour and a half from Texarkana.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, you're probably in one of the safer spots from the extreme weather.
Yeah, usually around here it's mostly just tornadoes.
Yeah.
And I've never had like a tornado hit anywhere really close to me, so I've been really fortunate, but that's really the only weather thing that hits this part of Texas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see you're a collector back there. What are your is that like DC characters or?
Yeah, I do Marvel and DC.
Okay.
So
Wow.
have some of that then.
Jesus.
Over there.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I just got the glass shelves a couple months ago, and they're really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really awesome.
That's like every little boy's dream right there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's this there's this YouTuber I watch, his name is Andre. His channel is called Black Nerd Comedy, and like his
Oh, I've seen him.
yeah, he's got a massive collection of just like everything possible nerd wise. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how many figurines do you have?
I haven't counted in a while, but I think it's roughly about 1,400. So
Wow. That's
All right.
awesome.
yeah, I got started when I was really young, and I like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I was on.
So, what do you... Go, Fina. Your turn. You let me go first last time.
That's the story of our evening here.
Yes.
I was at Comic-Con, the LA one, not the San Diego one, last weekend, I think, or 2 weekends ago. And there was also one booth that had like the Marvel figurines and whatnot. And it's crazy how detailed they are. I remember, years ago, it looked more like toys. It didn't feel like a collectible, but nowadays, unbelievable how good these things look like, how detailed they are, and even in the size, no matter which size, but it was just incredible. So
Yeah, it really has gotten a lot better in the last couple of years.
yeah.
So, can they get pretty pricey because of this?
Yeah, it depends a lot on the brand. I usually stick to the ones that are like, I do mostly Legends and used to be DC Universe, but now it's McFarlane. But usually like the ones that are around $20, $25 a piece. I usually try to find them on eBay for cheaper. But every once in a while I'll get one that's a little bit higher. I have a couple Mayfex, which are usually like 60, but I try not to do any of the too expensive ones.
Yeah.
So what's too expensive? Like, what's the most expensive you've seen?
It just depends. I mean, usually the ones that I own, the ones that are more expensive are like a Build-A-Figure or something, or like I just got the HasLab Galactus, which is like a big 3-foot one for it was like 600, which was more than I wanted to do, but it looks really cool, so I'm glad I got it. But I was just, every time I sold a book at a convention and like it went to the Square app, I literally just saved up until I had 600. I was like, well, that's being used for him. So
Yeah,
There you go.
that's cool.
you can see him up there in the middle.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
How tall is it?
About 36 inches. It's about 3 feet.
It's almost as tall as I am.
Yeah.
I'm 4'9", so that's like, probably fits right under my chin or something. It's like walking my daughter next to me. So, someone at church came up to me a few weeks ago and goes, she's like half your height. I'm like, yes, I'm very aware of how
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. How lovely.
I wasn't aware of that. No
Some
depth
people.
perception. So, yeah. Made me feel even shorter than normal.
Yeah.
So, Chad, what are you writing?
The three that I've released was psychological horror, detective thriller, and slasher. The project I'm working on now, which is actually why I was a little late because I was really trying to finish a chapter.
Sure.
It's a detective series, so I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Have you read any of his books, Chaz or Fina?
Yes.
I have not. No.
I have read all three of his books so far, and they're amazeballs.
What are the names of them?
So the first one is Nightmare, the second one is Shade, and the third one is The Animal.
Okay, I know I won't read The Animal. I already know that one.
Oh, is that the
I'm
horror
sure
one?
I don't
Yeah.
do horror.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a slasher novel,
Yeah.
and it's so much fun.
I'm the biggest wuss. Would I read either of the other two?
The detective thriller, I definitely think you might like.
Okay.
And I think you'd like Nightmare as well. It's hard to say because I know because it definitely has a lot of psychological horror to it. So you might not like it. I don't know, but I would love to say you should read all of them, Mona Lisa, but I know you're squeamish. So
You already know I don't get enough sleep as is. Let's not throw on like night terrors on top of this.
So psychological horror. Now we have to talk about that because that's my kind of trigger word, really. Is that very bloody, gory body horror type of psychological horror, or is it really more on the psychological side and about how people go nuts or whatever the story's about?
Nightmare was definitely more the latter as far as like quietly going insane. It's more of it's one where it kind of answers the question of is it psychological or is it supernatural? Because there's a lot of events that happen that are being portrayed as if they're not in the main character's head, but then there's also some like mental health things thrown in there. So it kind of toes the line. It's not Nightmare's not super gory. The goriest things kind of happen off screen. I mean, there's some death, but like
That's
it's
fine.
of
That's fine.
the group. It's not super gore, that type of stuff. It's more like a quiet. I say quiet. It's pretty fast paced, but it's more that psychological of like mental trauma, things coming back to haunt him, hallucinations. That kind of
Perfect.
stuff.
I don't need more mental trauma in my life.
I'm reading currently Under the Dome. I'm telling you, but it's good. Like I cannot sleep. But not because it's so terrible, because it's so good and I don't want to stop reading. So,
yeah.
I just watched another booktuber who read that and he absolutely loved it. He thought it was great.
It's good.
Yeah. I've heard good things about Under the Dome.
So, sorry, not really side scroll, but I'm looking at the covers. Chaz, is that the book where I send you the black version of the cover?
Yes. Yeah. A Shade?
No, Animal. Is the Animal the
Animal?
one that I send you?
And then it's black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't there a
Under-
black
Under
version
the-
of that?
Yeah.
So it's inverted on the inside.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the inside.
Yes.
And all of his covers are like that, and they're just I love these covers. So yeah, they all have the inverse on the inside. And you said it's Niblart is your cover designer, right?
Yeah, Miblart. I think they're I found them online. I got really fortunate with them because when you're starting off with independent publishing, you don't know who to hire or what to do. And I happened to find them, and I went through a couple, and I was debating, and last second I chose them, and I've been really fortunate because they're fantastic. They're great at emailing back. Their prices are pretty good, and they do all the crazy stuff that I asked them to do. And I feel bad because I know they just get a Word document for me that's like 18 pages long of like this, and they're just like, crap, this guy.
The good thing though is this is much better. I'm telling you that as someone who works with designers, that is so much better if you are very clear and this is what I want. It's so much easier than I want a wolf on the cover. And like you can go into so many directions and it will not turn out the way you want it. So they're probably actually excited that you're sending them 18 pages.
Yeah, I usually don't do that much, although I'm working on a different project right now with the artist. And on it, I literally looked at the document I wrote. I was like, why did that take me all day to write? And I checked and it was literally like 18 pages. Like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's the thing. Specifics help sometimes. But yeah, I make Mibble art, do a lot of like interior artwork too, especially like on this last one, I had to make the moons slowly become from like a crescent moon to a full moon, like a flip book on the numbers. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the things that you could tell they didn't want to do because how many moons they were going to have to draw. But eventually I wore them down to yeah, you could do it though. So yeah, I've been fortunate with them.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, they do a spectacular job on your covers, and good cover artists are hard to find, especially ones that are able to do what you want for the price that you're able to pay. Yeah.
Who did the cover for Nomad's Crucible?
Kat Fiscoletti is her name, and she's I met her through mutual friends here in the Phoenix area, and found out she's a cover artist, she's an artist in general. And I was looking at her stuff. I'm like, hey, could you do a cover for me? And we got together and talked over the details and decided to work together. So yeah, really reasonably priced, and yeah, I'm extremely happy with what she did.
Yeah, it looks great. I always love the like covers that are more like image based or like symbol, and it's got that really great like knife with the text in front of it. Like it looks really clean. And I love Talendor's Gist, if I'm pronouncing that right. I love that cover too because it was like old school fantasy. Yeah. From like it looks like that artwork from the 80s with movie posters, and it like looks
there we go again. Oh god.
Yeah,
it's so retro.
It's definitely a different style of art though, for sure. It's I like the scene from the book type of art. But when I got together with her on this, I'm kind of thinking of more of a concept-driven cover, and I told her some of the things I was looking for, and she says, "I know exactly what we need to do," and she came up with the mock-ups for me, and I liked it. So, yeah,
it fits the story. I find the cover fits the story.
Yeah, it does. I definitely think so. Yeah. And yeah, the plan is as long as she has the time and availability, I'm gonna have her work on future covers for me. Yeah, even for the novella I was talking about earlier, I'm still gonna have an ebook cover design for that. So I'll probably work with her again on that. But yeah, I don't see any reason not to use her if she's available.
Yeah,
it also has to look pretty on a Kindle. I mean, I don't know if I'm probably not the only one who scrolls through their Kindle library and just looks at the pretty covers for hours and hours as the scrolling goes on.
Yeah, the whole don't judge a book by its cover thing, just even as an author, if I don't like the cover, I'm not going to buy the book. It makes no sense, and it's unfair.
100%, yes.
It has to be a good cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one book that I bought just on a whim a long time ago where the cover was just terrible, but the blurb sounded really good, and the book actually was really good.
Yeah.
And
it can happen, but if it has a bad cover, it's got to work harder to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that author would go a long way if he got his book covers redesigned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Fina, are you thinking about writing a book?
I don't
I
think I
didn't
have
think
that
you were
talent.
going to. Huh?
I don't think I have that talent. I don't know. I mean, I write a lot for work, and so it's first of all, it's because of that I don't have the energy to continue writing after work and even sitting in front of a computer. I don't want to do that anymore. But I don't know. I've never. I mean, obviously, I thought about it because I've been reading for such a long time, but I never had a really good idea where it was like, yes, this sounds like something I need to put on paper right now. But no, I don't know. Never really crossed my mind. Which is okay. I leave that to people who clearly have talent for that. So all good. How about you? Am I the only non-writer here?
No, I'm a non-writer.
Okay.
I can't even keep a diary. I can't even tell you how many times I started one and then stopped and then started another one or like started again or so. Yeah, but I can't do that. So
Although I don't know. Diary is. I mean, for my life is nothing happens. I got up, I sat down for work, then I ate, then I read something, and then I went back to bed. Like that's
my life now.
Which I'm fine with.
That's my life now. Before it was much more exciting. A lot more things happened, but now it's pretty. Not that it's a bad monotonous, but it's very much.
I love it. I'm happy that I don't have any excitement in my life at the moment. I know it sounds sad, but I'm happy about it.
I don't know that I could take any more excitement in my life, so I understand that sentiment.
I think you're good. Yeah.
We're good.
Is highly overrated.
Yeah, monotonous is underrated. It can be good. Just same thing. You know what you like, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gives you time to read stuff. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Or write stuff. Wink, wink, Chaz.
Right? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing now is that he's written this book and we both enjoy it, and obviously others enjoy it, and others will enjoy it. So we're all going to be bugging him to write more.
Right?
Yeah.
With Chaz, we're celebrating his. We're celebrating. Yeah, you launched a book, and we're pastoring it.
Right? Yeah. Congrats on the book. So where's the next one?
Yeah, it's like that video you did earlier this week about readers talking about George R. R. Martin. When's his next book?
Yeah. Be kind to authors. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice. I'll just gently prod you in the butt rather than use the whole cow. What's the
cattle prod?
Yes, I'll just gently poke you, not use the cattle prod, unless you need it.
Yeah, I think I'll skip the cattle prod. I'm good.
Then get to work. It's very simple.
Oh man!
But you said you worked on this one for 8 years, right?
I did. Yeah.
Was 8 years like the day you started writing it? Was that like when you had the idea, or like what was the process?
Yeah, I had the idea in 2016, shortly after Talendor's Guest released. And then I had completed the book about, I had completed the book by 2018. And then I kind of, hit burnout and writer's block, and then the pandemic hit, and just, a whole bunch of things delayed it. And then last year I finally went back to it. I'm like, I need to get this done and get it out. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I finally got up the nerve to do it. But I do wish it hadn't taken me as long as it did. Because the initial draft was done 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Life happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be there pretty soon. I got drafts that I finished like 2-3 years ago that still won't come out for another year or two.
Yeah.
Feels weird to sit on it for that long. But...
sometimes that's okay too. Wasn't it Stephen King also that has various manuscripts lying around, and every now and then he pulls one out of the drawer 10 years later and then, oh yeah, I have a book.
Right.
It's better to have a backlog than it is to rush to try to get something new out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is nice to have a backlog for sure. I have one book that I started, I think it was 2009. And I still haven't done much with it. So I need to get back. And one of the stories in Talendor's Guest is part of that book. So
Okay.
yeah, features characters from that book. So one of these days it'll happen. I need to. I was a much different writer back then because I was just kind of starting, and so I look back at. I still look back at it from time to time. I'm like, ugh.
Kind of like your first YouTube video.
Yeah, right. It's like, ugh.
It is crazy how much your writing style can change like so quickly. Like I have habits and traits that I have now that I just do instinctively, and I'll look back at Nightmare and like just not even remotely there. And I'm just like, when did I pick that up of something that like I now do every page that at that point I didn't do in the entire book, and just stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see how it evolves. But we'll be expecting that book by 2025.
Right.
So does the release of this book, I mean, I know you have that timeline in your head for the novella and the other book, but does the release of this book and like the excitement you're seeing from us and the people in the comments and other people you've talked to like motivate you to maybe finish them sooner or like move up the timeline a little bit on stuff?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It definitely, all the encouragement is just a confidence booster.
And all the encouragement encourage you to write a duology possibly one day?
Oh, I'm
Just
never going
asking,
to
because
hear
inquiring minds are wondering.
I'm never going to hear the
He's going to have to do it at this point now, Fina. You know he is.
I'm going to have to write that second book.
I was going to ask if Nomad was going to have a sequel.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Thanks, Chad.
As someone who so far only released standalones, I'm not really in a position to be requesting sequels, but I will anyway.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Chad. Yeah, you're not alone. I've had 3 other people on the stream tell me, no, maybe 4, tell me that I should write a sequel to it, and maybe I will. I honestly initially had planned for it to be 2 books. And then by the time I got to the end of the Nomad's Crucible, I had pretty much said all I wanted to say and finished the story with a few miscellaneous leftovers. I mean, there's directions it could go. So, but I had a possible title for the second book and everything. So it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, like the last few paragraphs, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but for those who read it or wrote it, the last few paragraphs, you're like, okay, where's the next one?
Right?
Have you read it, Chad?
I haven't yet, no.
Yeah.
I don't have a copy yet. I'm going to get one from Chaz and then read it soon.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely get you one. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was just thinking today I'm going to need to order more stock so that I have extras on hand.
Yeah.
But,
which are, speaking of sequels, I remember last year on the stream I did with y'all, you asked me if I was going to write a sequel to Animal, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yeah, I think I did. I'm pretty sure.
My answer to that question may have changed in the last year.
Oh, really? Oh,
maybe.
Okay.
So wait, what was the answer to the question last year?
Decidedly no.
Aha.
And now it's a possibility?
I have a few ideas I'm floating around.
Okay. All right. Well.
It's becoming more of a possibility. It's floating down the river towards it.
Yeah. No, I've got I have something I think could be cool, so I'm looking into it.
Cool.
It'd be a while off though. I got a lot of other books I got to put out first.
Yeah, and that's the same with me. If I do a sequel to the Nomad's Crucible, it'll be a while because there's definitely other story threads that I want to pursue before I go back to that world.
Ink Master.
As a reader, I mean, as much as I would love a continuation in that world, as a reader, I appreciate that. I've seen it way too often where people force to come out with duologies or trilogies, and it's just the first book is great, and then second and third is just, what were you doing? You could feel that they didn't have fun writing it.
Yeah.
So I much rather have you enjoy your writing process and telling the story rather than us forcing you into it.
Yeah.
I'll probably hate myself for saying that later on, but you know.
Yeah. Sequels that are forced to be written have never once turned out good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's for sure. With a few exceptions, but yeah, most of the time, forced sequels are never good.
Yeah.
Like I still to this day, I personally think that Mistborn did not need a sequel. The first Mistborn book, The Final Empire, I don't think it needed a sequel, but he gave us 2 sequels, and they were fine. But
I haven't
think it
read
works
this
good
one.
as
I haven't read
standalone.
the sequels. But
Yeah, I think
I
it works
still
good as a
haven't finished
standalone,
this
but the other books were good. What's that?
I still haven't finished this Sanderson.
Right. Yep. You're
Hence
in
my
the middle of
unopened
a launch.
boxes.
I haven't even read Cosmere yet, so
I have only read the first Mistborn. I want to read the rest because I really liked it, but I haven't.
Yeah.
gotten it.
Mistborn Era 2 is even better in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, once when Wind and Truth comes out in December, I'll be reading it, and that will be at that point I will have read everything in the Cosmere.
And that's a lot of books.
It is a lot of books. I've been reading him for several years though, so. But yeah, it's taken a while to get through them all.
Sanderson's like the exact opposite of George R.R. Martin.
Yes.
He's just like book. Here's 4 more.
surprise, here's another one.
Right.
That video when he came out with his like what he'd been doing during the pandemic, it was just like crazy. Like, so I wrote this book. Oh, and I wrote this one, and he was just kind of like, okay, when is it gonna? It was insane.
Yeah. He definitely went he went whole hog on that. And just utilized his time well. And
But can you imagine the brain, like the space in the brain he created by getting that out of his brain?
Yeah.
These have been things he had been thinking about for a while, and then he was finally able to sit down and get it out. And typically when you're able to do something like that, even if it's writing a list, you get stuff out. It gives you so much more space, some more breathing room in your head. So,
and then it's immediately taken over by the next book idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Within days.
Yeah, probably with him. Yeah.
I mean,
he sure had a lot of wind blowing around in there for the couple days. It was clear. So, wind tunnel.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Even guys like Terry Brooks, and I mean, he's approaching. I think he's approaching 90, and he still cranks out at least 1 or 2 books a year.
There's
in the
hope for you,
world and everything. And what's that?
There's hope for you.
There's hope
Get those
for me.
Get those 15 projects down under 120 years.
Yeah.
You're not 90 yet. You're what, 87?
Oh, ouch.
I didn't say
it. Yeah. Wow. Where's the delete button? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I've been blocked from the video.
On that note, I think this old lady needs to go to bed.
I was just gonna say it's getting close to it's getting close to a little past. 8 p.m. here, and I know on the East Coast you guys are well past 11 p.m. So
Yeah, it's 11:15.
and then Fina, I think you and I are on the same time right now, but it's
Right
still
now, yeah. That changes in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think.
right. And then you're what, 2 hours different? It's probably 10, 15 your time, Chad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 10:15.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream there. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate all of you guys that joined me for this and the people that originally joined and had to leave and everything. I really appreciate it. You can buy Talendor, or I'm sorry. Well, you can buy Talendor's Guest, but you can also buy the Nomad's Crucible. $3.99 on Kindle, $12.99 paperback. You can also buy it directly from me if you want a signed, personalized copy. And you just need to email me at bookischaz@gmail.com if you're interested in a copy. And I'm just so excited to share this book with the world. And I really appreciate all you guys for tuning in and chatting with me and joining the stream. It was a really nice surprise to see you pop in at the end there, Chad. Nice to have you pop into the stream. So I really appreciate all of you. So for those of you catching it on the rewatch, I appreciate you for watching as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.